Welcome back everybody to another gamelog vlog where we don't just collect a lot of games, we beat a lot of games, and at the minute we've been playing through all the Spider-Man games. We beat 2 Spider-Man games in one day yesterday. Today we're starting Amazing Spider-Man 1. Tonight we're going to the cinema, and that's pretty much all I've got on. And at some point in this week, I need a haircut, because every day I wake up and this side's getting higher, because I've got a cowlick on both sides that sort of limits my hair. And if I don't, I can't be arsed to wake up and hairspray my hair every day. Tell you, the day that I can grow a beard is the day that I shave my head, and we're nearly there, kind of, but not really. Where I hit puberty like last year at 25, and now all of a sudden I'm growing a bit of facial hair. Hopefully by the time I'm 30 there'll be a beard. We'll see. We'll never know. I'd love to be bald. I'd love to be one of these guys that wears a cap all day, but then everybody that wears a cap all day, you know they're bald or balding and just won't accept it yet. But anyway, whatever. Let's start Amazing Spider-Man, shall we? So here's hoping that there's nothing wrong with the disc for this one, because again I haven't checked yet. Obligatory thumbnail shot. Where shall I hold it? Like there. I need to make sure I've got enough room for text on the side of my head. I do this every day where I mess that up. So make sure it's not reflective. Look at the camera. Cool. Right, let's start. Right then, time to begin the Amazing Spider-Man 1 for the 360. Now this game I have played before. I've beaten this one before, back when it came out, and I remember really enjoying it. I'm pretty sure that I 100%ed it because I wanted all the costumes and it was pretty cool. I enjoyed it. Although I am aware that apparently the sequel to this one, and therefore the next game I'm playing after this, is apparently the worst Spider-Man game ever. Which is going to have to be pretty bad to take that title away from Spider-Man for the 360 from me. Spider-Man 3 for the 360, because that game really hurt my feelings. But, it's interesting to me because this is the most use my 360 has gotten in years. Like, I'm even using a wired controller because I'm using it all day at the minute for all these Spider-Man games. Like, the majority of these Spider-Man games have been played on the 360. Also, you guys that are watching on TikTok, I'm gonna make a video about this like tonight, but you guys are gonna see this way in advance. I just want you guys to know that when you see these clips, you're seeing them so far behind when like other platforms do that you might as well just go watch them on the other platforms. Because I can only upload 10 clips a day on TikTok, or at least that's what I'm planning to do each day. And at this point, I'm recording this on Sunday at 2 PM, and I'm quite sure that before this video even goes up, we're well into Wednesday. So I'm at least 5 days in advance. By the time Wednesday rolls around, I will have probably finished all of the Spider-Man games. But yeah, anyway, let's begin. So this Spider-Man game is where the Batman Arkham combat is in full force, and it's the first one in the franchise that I think did it. Like, the last few Spider-Mans have just been straight beat-em-ups, so yeah, it's also for some reason the one where they put the camera right underneath Spider-Man's hiney for some reason, all the time. Like, why is the camera so close? What in the Resident Evil 4? Gwen. If anyone... I stand by that Spider should have chose literally any of his other options over MJ. Gwen or Black Cat are both better choices than MJ. Argue in the comments. Be interesting. Oh dear. I do remember there being like... Yeah. So there's Scorpion. In this game, they like... This is a sequel to the film versus a film adaptation. And a lot of the animal-based enemies, the villains, like Rhino, Scorpion, Vulture, they're all like actual cross-species with animals in this game, and they did it that way, which is kind of cool. You know, people love to talk about the 360 and PS3 era of games as if the games are ugly, and I don't think that they are. Some can be, for sure. Like, you've got to think, it is crazy that this is the same generation of gaming as Spider-Man 3 for the 360, which looks awful, right? It's a completely different game. Especially consider that is a pretty direct comparison too, considering, you know, same console, literally the same city, still Spider-Man, still swingy. This is towards the end of the life cycle, whereas that was towards, well, kind of towards the beginning, still a few years in. But 360 and PS3 era of gaming was capable of looking pretty good. It just was. Like, I've had some people say, how can I go back and play games this old, and be like, yeah, that's fine, but I have to be on PS2 era or beyond before I start considering what they look like, you know? 360 and PS3 games, there's no PS3 or 360 game that looks bad enough that the looks alone are the reason why I wouldn't touch it, you know? I also don't enjoy fighting robots. I've said this a million times, but robots are never fun. We're straight up playing Metal Gear. Where's Raiden? He'd sort this out quick and proper. Collective Consciousness, start playing now. God, I miss my AirPods. I need them back for the gym soon. Nice. This was in that weird era of gaming where game developers became self-aware about social media and were like, yeah, let's put like a Twitter equivalent into every game. I don't know why they did that, but yeah, the swinging in this game felt nice. And you know, while we're talking about gaming tropes in terms of levels, we always talk about like the skydiving segments, what's the word? The sewer levels, prison breaks. Lots and lots of games have prison breaks. Assassin's Creed did it several times. Gun did it recently that I played. This, I'm pretty sure there's been like a few just in... Yeah, there was one in Web of Shadows, I think, with Rhino. Or at least I think that was Web of Shadows. At this point, the games are kind of blending together. Whoever did the combat animations for this one really liked like luchador wrestling, I swear to God. I still feel like the camera's really, really close. But at least the combat is... This is probably the easiest the combat's gonna have been since... Well, Friend or Foe was pretty easy because that game doesn't even really count. But like, some of these Spider-Man games have had difficult segments in the combat, that's for sure. But with being as this is Arkham combat, this is gonna be easy the entire time. I swear we just broke that guy's neck. This is definitely one of those Spider-Man games where the web's attached to the clouds. Like, I'm trying to see where it's connecting to at any given time, and it's just... It's a no. It's interesting, because you'd have thought they'd have done away with that pretty early on. I mean, to be fair, they did do away with that pretty early on. Like, the second game that I did for all of these, they stopped doing the webs attaching to nothing thing. Like... I do feel like there's a lot of speed in this one, though. Like... Because of how the camera is up his arse like it is, it does... I do like the way the swinging feels in this game, even if the webs are not attached to stuff. Although it is pretty autopilot swinging, which... That's fine, I suppose. Surely that's not Central Park, right? At this point, how many times have I been through New York? But at this point, actually, I've missed it, considering Web of Shadows, Edge of Time, Shattered Dimensions. And to be fair, even though Web of Shadows... I feel like I've said about 4 of these in the wrong order. Even though that one was in New York, it didn't feel like it because everything was so wrecked the entire time. Well, that didn't take long. Hi, Rhino. What variation on your boss fight are we going to do today? Am I going to wait for you to slam into something so that I can jump onto your back? Am I going to wait for you to slam into the floor so that I can stand there and beat upon you for a moment? Am I going to ride you into things that may otherwise hurt you? It's always one of those variations. What's the method today going to be? Willing to bet I can't just stand toe-to-toe with you, right? Yeah, this is not working. Dodge him into stuff? That looks like the one. Is he stuck in that wall? Nope. I do think they did... Oh Christ, I forgot to actually press dodge. I just tried to jump out the way. Okay, it's one of those. So what, run him into the SWAT van? Yeah, run him into the SWAT van. Come on then. And then attack his back. It's always one of those. It is always one of those. Is anyone keeping track? How many times have we had a boss fight with Rhino now? I'm pretty sure it's at least 5? Something along those lines, right? Come on, Rhino. Does that count? I think it counts. Web strike. I do like how cinematic this game is. Like, it's all very over the top. We're in that era now where everything has to be like a... what's the word? Like a big thing, like Uncharted, Tomb Raider, like everything's a big action set piece. Big action set piece, that's the word I was looking for. Is that it? Are we done? I'm going to say surely not. We friends now? Gonna go with no. That might be it though. That was really the boss fight with Rhino. Okay. And here we are in the sewer level, which in Spider-Man, because of the lizard, has become a very common thing. The swinging in this game is pretty cool. Like, here, to navigate in interior levels with swinging without it feeling awful, you just hold the right trigger down. There's no, like, usually to shoot another web you gotta let go and press it again, right? And if I want to ascend, I can hold the left trigger, and you'll start climbing. And if I want to go down... Is there a way to go down? There might not be. Interesting. Anyway, sewer level time. We're on chapter 4 of, I think, 14. So, like, we're making good progress. This is the first Spider-Man game so far, by the way, with like a specific jump to point button, which you don't even know how much you miss that, not having it in some games where you got to land in a specific point for a race or like anything along those lines. Not being able to go specifically where you want to go, it makes things a lot harder. We're going up. Looks like we're going up. I can't believe how early game we are, and Spider-Man's suit is... Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, Jesus Christ. I paused for a second, guys. Chill out. The Spider-Man suit is wrecked. Like, how has this happened so quickly? I am pretty sure that we're going to go and change into a different suit. Like, there's no way this is the state of the suit for the rest of the game. Like, this is like in Batman, where as the game goes on, the suit gets wrecked, except we are, like, a quarter of the way in, and the suit is just barely covering anything now. We good? I love how fast the swinging is. It'd be interesting to compare going from one end of the city to the other in like Spider-Man 3 versus this. Because in Spider-Man 3 it took a while sometimes. Like, it'd be like, yeah, go 5,000 meters. And it's like, oh, brilliant. Hello? We need to get out of that. Jesus Christ. It's very cinematic because of the way the camera sticks to you. It's like that one low angle you can choose in Skate 3. Although I don't remember this in any of the films. And I still don't like fighting robots. Done? Yeah, what about the civilians that just, like, took out as it skidded? Or that car that just got... Yeah, there's untold amounts of damage. And, Jesus Christ. We good? No, there's another one. Also, you get very high up very quickly. That's been a problem in some of the Spider-Mans where height is difficult to come by when you want it. Like in all... Oh, dear. Right, come on. Are we even supposed to beat you yet? Because you're flying quicker than we can seem to keep up with. Where am I supposed to be attaching these webs to, bro? Just God's nutsack. Right, come on. What about if I use the whole web rush thing and let the game play itself for a bit? Nope, that's slower. Or at least it is now. Here we go. Right on. That was a lot of civilians you just blew up, Spider-Man. This suit is knackered.
That's interesting. If I could somehow link this frequency to my spider tracer.
I think it's time to change your outfit, bro. Interestingly, I do have the black suit from the Raimi trilogy available. I'm pretty sure it's saved some of my stuff from like a playthrough a decade ago. But yeah. Do you know what I think is crazy about the way that I record videos and upload them to TikTok? Is that every single time, no matter the game, right, you get people, like, telling me things about the game that just are not true, and I know they're not true because I've just done it, and they're saying it from memory. For example, had somebody comment saying, why did you say that Ultimate Spider-Man is only 3 hours long? It's 30 hours. I have, on the video of the credits rolling of Ultimate Spider-Man, and it's like... There's no world in which that is a logical thing to say, and that's what gets on my nerves, is that I just think it was a very silly thing to say, you know? Like, no, there is no world in which Ultimate Spider-Man is that long. Sorry, it just isn't. No matter how long you spend doing side stuff, there's barely any side stuff in that game. If you look on how long to beat, the completionism thing for that is still like 5 hours or something like that. Or, this happens all the time where people will comment something about a game telling me that I'm doing it wrong and I should do it their way, and they're telling me from memory versus me who's actually playing the game. They'd be like, no, I would have done it this way. That isn't how you can do that. For example, there was a Spider-Man 3 video where he was like, oh yeah, you just spin them around with the webs, and I was like, you can't spam that move because in this game that's a super move. You have to charge it, and therefore no, you didn't spam it, so your memory from 17 years ago is faulty. And this happens in every game that I play. People saying things that just... That isn't how that works, because it just isn't. But they'll confidently say it anyway. And TikTok comments are a different breed. They just always are. And something else that I have to keep, I need to keep pointing out is that TikTok sees these videos in past tense. By the time you see this on TikTok, guys, it was probably recorded 4 days ago, and I'm probably 5 games further ahead. I've got people telling me right now that I'm bad at one of the Spider-Man games that took me 4 hours to beat, and it's like, well, it isn't both, is it? Take your pick. Yeah, TikTok, man. Scorpion's looking a little bit different in this one. Less human, more animal. I mean, we already fought the rat one and the rhino, so like we are rapidly making our way through the rogues gallery or whatever it's called. We're gonna run out of people. How many times have we fought with Scorpion? Really, I wish we'd have kept like a tally going between Scorpion, Rhino, Vulture, Shocker. I mean, I know that Shocker's not one of the animal ones, but like Shocker appears a lot. Electro as well, I guess. Just to see who appears the most in these fights, in these games. I really don't understand how I'm supposed to dodge the reds. And is that it? Are we done? Or is that just like phase 1? Yeah, he looks pretty done. Yeah, he's done. Once they get webbed to the floor, that's Spider-Man code for that's done. Suit's getting a bit wrecked again. Suits get wrecked in every mission. They were like, yeah, Batman Arkham did it, and it looked really cool in that, so we're gonna do it every mission, but repair it between. It's getting very dramatic all of a sudden. There's like a snake robot in the middle. If this happened in the... Bro, you know for a fact that in this universe of the Avengers, do not exist. Because if they did, this would be the sort of thing where there'd be some assembling going on, you know? How do I dodge reds? I'm going to say, reds, you can't just spider sense dodge. Where's he gone? How does a metal snake that big just disappear like that? Where's it gone? But yeah, a lot of the other Spider-Man games up to now have taken place in the larger universe at whole. This one, definitely not, because if it did, you'd 100% have the Avengers out for this sort of thing. A giant metal snake calling itself around a skyscraper. We need to get closer, but every time I try, he's lasering me. Where's he gone now? Is he going underground? I think he's going under... Yeah, he's going underground. That'd be even worse. I wonder how deep the New York Underground goes. It's a thought. What was where New York is before skyscrapers? I'm Googling that later. I'm going to go down a rabbit hole. Just decided. Sometimes that happens. I'm going to go on like a 50-page Wikipedia streak. What's the worst that could happen? That's a Dr. Octopus claw if ever I've seen it. Except with 2 instead of 3. Smash. OE. As cool as these big robot fights are, they are all the same. They all boil down to web up the blue things. And as long as you web up the blue things enough times, the red ones appear. And then once the red ones appear, web strike them. Bye-bye. I'm pretty sure that we're approaching the final act of the game already, because you know when you play a game where the city that you're in develops as the story develops? Well, the entire city's knackered, everybody's infected, Peter looks like he's about to drop dead at any given second. I think we're about an hour and a half away from the game being done. This was incredibly short, but How Long to Beat says that this game is like 2 hours longer than Amazing Spider-Man 2. If I'd have woken up a bit earlier today and wasn't going to the cinema later on, I probably could have beaten Amazing Spider-Man 1 and 2 in the same day as well. That would have been pretty mental. 4 Spider-Man in 2 days. And then it's the Sony Spider-Man games after that, which is... That's come round fast, hasn't it? But yeah, I think we're about to enter Chapter 8, because I think we've just finished 7, and there's 13 chapters, and typically in games with chapters, the last few chapters are pretty quick, because they're typically just boss fights and cutscenes. That's how like every game ever tends to do chapters. I love games with chapters, by the way. I love knowing where in a game I am. I always do. It's my favourite thing. Anyway, moving on. You know what is never a fun type of mission to have in a game where you're supposed to have superpowers? Is levels where they take away your superpowers. Like right now, Spider-Man is a normal guy, and those things nearly ended him. Prototype did the same thing all the time. Like, there was like a whole section of Prototype 1 where you lose your powers. That is... it's just not fun. And I get it, it's dramatic, it's like, look how big of a deal this is. But, you know, it's just... Look at Spider-Man's suit, by the way.
Spider-Man must be a master, what's the word? Not a carpenter, that's wood. Seamster? What's the male version of a seamstress? There's a word that's not coming to my head here, I'm not sure. Oh dear. It does raise a question of why would there be a lever that high up if you'd need webs to get it. Anyway, yeah, don't take powers away. Why is the final boss of so many of these games a flying robot with lasers? Like, what's that? 3 in a row? Something like that? I don't know. Also, you really don't have very much health in this game. What do I need to do to hurt you? Web you up? Usually blue means web. I'm working on finding a way. It's quite possibly, like, the shortest one in the franchise so far, to be honest. Like, even shorter than Ultimate Spider-Man, because I've not even been to the cinema yet, and, well, we're nearly done. So, yeah, this is not taking long. Now do I attack him like this? Nope. Definitely not that. And in fact, that might have damaged me. Now can I? Nope, still not. You'd have thought it would, like, be a web strike thing, but it's not a web strike thing, apparently. So what do? Oh, now it's a web strike thing. The game's just got to contextualise it for me. Good old quick time event things. With the help of the lizard. Still, robots, man. Never fun. Never ever fun. Well, I presume just repeat this 3 to 4 times, we're probably done. Everything works in rules of threes in games, so... Come on. Let me web strike again. There we go. Oh dear. Ah, he's fine. And that is the end of The Amazing Spider-Man 1. It is currently 8 PM. I've still got an hour before I go to the cinema. If it wasn't for the fact that I'm going to be playing Amazing Spider-Man 2 on PlayStation 4 and need to install it, I'd start right now. That was the shortest one so far. That might have taken me less time than Ultimate Spider-Man did. I'm not really sure. But it was okay. It wasn't as good as I remembered, to be honest. Because in hindsight, way too many of the levels took place indoors in facilities with robots, which is my least favourite thing in the world. Which, coming straight off the back of Edge of Time, was more of the same, which was, you know, not really what I wanted. But next up we've got Amazing Spider-Man 2, which isn't necessarily a good thing, because I've been told that it's not a very good game. Apparently it's the worst one in the entire franchise. However, let's get the Amazing Spider-Man 2 the Amazing Spider-Man put on the gamelog. I don't know if whether it's The Amazing Spider-Man or Amazing Spider-Man. I'm just going to go with Amazing Spider-Man for now. So that's the Amazing Spider-Man on the log on the 7th of the 7th, 07/07/2024, as our 9th Spider-Man game in about a week. That's pretty good. 9 games, 7 days-ish. In an hour I'll be going to the cinema, and when I get back I'll begin Amazing Spider-Man 2, which, depending on how late I stay up tonight, could be finished today as well, which would mean tomorrow we begin Spider-Man PlayStation 4, which is obviously something I've been looking forward to anyway. I might New Game Plus those games, just because they'll be more fun that way. I've got the Platinum on both of the Sony Spider-Mans, so why not? Yeah. Before I head off to the cinema, here's my cinema snacks, as always. Get them out of the way. My protein chocolate balls. They don't sell those anymore, sadly. But if you get anything from My Protein, and you should, use code KALE and send me screenshots of any orders you make, because they give me a 200 quid voucher to send out somebody that does every month. What are you looking at, Ruby? What are you looking at? You got something on your nose. You've got something on your nose. It's on your schnoz. Yeah, me too. It's spots. You'll be fine. Hello. Wee-wee's time. Come on. So, off to the cinema now. There's just 3 blokes to that. Do you ever consider when we go to a horror film that we should take ID, just in case?
Never occurs to me. I do actually have mine on me.
I don't.
But
I feel like we should be past you needing ID now, especially in this cinema. But
it's also, yeah, I'm going to watch a film, not by potential.
We have been ID'd once, I think.
In
And
London.
if something happens once, you can't trust that it'll never happen again. It's like when you go to a fast food place, if they get your order wrong once, now you have to check it every single time. It's a trust thing. We do that. Cinema time. Let's go. So we're out. We had a vague bit of cinema drama. There was like a double cock-up. First one, we walked in, there was a fella in my seat. He didn't seem to want to accept that he was in my seat, so we had to go back out. And with Odeon, it's not rocket science. You pick a seat before you even go in. You can't even get in there without picking a seat. There's no scenario in which you just pay and walk in and find a seat. That's not how Odeon works.
It's all reserved.
It is, every single seat in there is reserved seating. So you can't have gotten in there without picking a seat. Anyway, he was in my seat and he wouldn't move. So we went out. And then when we went back in with a member of staff, funnily enough, they'd moved. Because of course they had, before the staff had arrived.
But what didn't make sense is that he seemed to be on his own and not with the other people that he was sat next to.
Yeah, there was a double cock-up.
So everybody had to move along.
So another cock-up was that she'd booked the wrong seat. Instead of being on my right, she was on my left. So there was two cock-ups going on because this fella was in the seat that I needed to be in, and then someone else different in like a different couple. One of them was in her seat. So when we went back in and they'd all shifted over one, I don't really understand. Someone somehow had booked the same seat twice.
You ended up in your right seat.
I was in the correct seat because I didn't cock it up, yeah.
It ended up being fine anyway.
Yeah.
We got the pair we would have wanted to have been in.
Yeah. Well, I got my seat. So because my theory as to what happened is that the Odeon app just doesn't let you double book seats. It just doesn't.
It's very responsive.
Like, you just can't book the same seat as someone else. It doesn't work like that.
Even if the checkout fails when you're booking a seat, you then can't.
It's just greyed out. We've had it a million times where something goes wrong with the booking.
It's like held in
for a
basket.
seat we want, and it'll grey it out, and we can't choose it for 15 minutes till it repopulates. And after everybody had moved to the correct-ish seats, like 5 minutes into the film, a staff member comes in and pulls the guy that was in my seat out.
She has to scan his ticket first, and is like, something's wrong.
She scanned his ticket again in there, and she was like, something's wrong, and asked him to leave. And then like 10 minutes later, he comes back in. So my theory is that there wasn't a double booking of the same seat, and that in reality what had happened is he'd booked that seat for a different day, which is why, or a different time or something. But because he'd paid for it technically, and
everybody was happy,
and everybody was fine with it, there was a seat available that he could sit in. They just were like, yeah, go back in then. But that's what I reckon. The film was good though. Maxine was good. Why do you look like you're hesitating?
No, I'm just wondering because like I feel like it's implied that he didn't scan his ticket on the way in, which is feasible because they did seem a bit frazzled and short-staffed when we walked in.
Yeah.
He just walked straight into the screen.
He could have just walked straight in.
Which is why she has to scan his ticket, because she's like, the person in this seat hasn't scanned their ticket.
The guy also didn't put up much of an argument when I said he was in. He basically didn't speak.
No.
He just sort of was showing his phone as if that was.
And then you chucked his headphones off the table.
I didn't chuck him. He just. No, they fell off when he moved them over. You make it sound like I out of rage threw. No.
No, his headphones fell on the floor, and I thought you were responsible.
No, that
was intentional.
No, that was not my fault. Although it would have been valid. Anyway, before I carry on playing, I'm going to eat a golden Easter egg layered bar, my protein, once again. I've installed Amazing Spider-Man 2 before I left, so we're ready to get started immediately. And it's only 11:30, so I could put a good 4 hours in tonight. Time to begin what is renowned for being possibly the worst Spider-Man game, The Amazing Spider-Man 2. Now, for it to be actually considered the worst, it's going to have to be pretty bad to take that title from the 360 version of Spider-Man 3 from me, because that game, yeah, no. But from what I've seen online, this is a 3 to 5 hour game. The way that I judge this, by the way, is I go on YouTube and I just search name of game, full game, because there's always someone that's uploaded a full playthrough, and you can judge based on the average length of those videos. Like if you do The Amazing Spider-Man 2 full game on YouTube, you'll come up with like 3.5, 4.5, and about 5.5 hours. So it's possible I could do it today, but I have never played it before, so that means that I'm going to play it a bit slower than some of the others. Like, yeah, I don't know. I guess we'll find out. I know that there's some very silly systems in this game, and yeah, let's just see how it goes, shall we? Let's begin. Oh, are we really starting Amazing Spider-Man 2 with a rendition of Uncle Ben's death? Really? Was this necessary? Like, Of all the Spider-Man games that I've played, I think this might be the first time we've done this. Even Spider-Man 1 didn't really do this. Spider-Man 1 starts with you going after his killer, but there's none of this. Also, I was about to say, hang on, before we chase after the death, that's not Andrew Garfield. That's not Andrew Garfield at all. Anyway, also, I feel like Spider-Man looks a little bit old in this one to be the correct age. How did the graphics on the 360 version of Amazing Spider-Man 1 look better than this? That's dramatic, isn't it? Okay, Amazing Spider-Man 2 is doing something a bit different with the web swinging. Left trigger to shoot from the left arm. Right trigger to shoot from the right arm. Or R2 and L2, whatever. At this point I've played these games on that many different consoles that it doesn't really matter. I wonder how much this is going to actually play into gameplay. Like, could I just use the R2 over and over again? I bet I could, although it does pull pretty heavily to whatever direction you're swinging. That's going to be a weird change of pace, because swinging has been on R2 for like 7 games in a row now. We're after Uncle Ben's killer. Swinging's definitely slower than it was in Amazing Spider-Man 1 as well. Can we do Web Rush? Is that still a thing? Alright.
Hey Larry, these guns are heavy. How about a hand? I set this gig up. That makes me the boss.
Which one of you is going to be Yuri Lowenthal?
Shut up.
There's always a Yuri Lowenthal playing a just random thug in every game ever made.
Looks like the guy who killed Uncle Ben.
Oh no, we're taking pictures.
I'm not sure. I need to get some pictures of him.
Gotta take some pictures. Is that supposed to be Shocker? That's Shocker's jacket. Oh yeah, Herman Schultz. It's Shocker again. Shocker is the first boss in so many Spider-Man games.
Think you can take me, huh, freak?
Where's your gloves?
I'm not gonna make it easy for you.
That's not Shocker gloves. How did he just miss all those shots? Why is he shooting the floor? His barrel is pointed at...
Come on, all your friends did.
What?
Buy yourself a ticket to hell. Oh no.
He's not even Shocker. Yet. Give him a kiss. Why did he go to sleep? Why did he take a nap? No, he's not. What is going on? Shocker is just a joke, isn't he?
I'm begging you, man. Don't
So he's definitely going to reappear later, right?
make a deal. Others? Yeah, I got money, guns. Just tell me what
Okay,
you need.
bye Shocker. See you later, I'm sure.
You do business with this.
Hearing Stanley's voice,
I can't say it enough. I'm so
it's almost
sorry about
sad.
your Uncle Ben.
It's definitely sad.
He was a good
I remember the day he died really, really well. Or the day it was announced that he died.
I was just remembering how we used to come in together. After the mess I made house sitting for you, I felt kind of bad.
Oh, water under the bridge. Hey, can't I get you anything? Some Mary Marvel mayhem to get the old pulse pounding?
Nah, I was just passing by. But I'll come
It's
back.
crazy that Stan stayed so involved, even in such a late stage of his life, when man probably could have checked out and not cared at all, never worked again a day in his life, from a much younger age. You know, for decades he was just doing it because he loved it, you know, when he didn't have to. And now the MCU is where it's at. Oh dear. But yeah, where were you guys when Stan Lee died? I was working a shift at Tesco and it ruined that day. Why in a Spider-Man game have we got a dialogue selection wheel? And as Peter Parker, we're just having a chat with supervillains. Like, we literally went to this fella's house. Hi, Craven. How was your day? I've only beat the piss out of you in about 4 of these Spider-Man games now.
To use your power to help.
Also, that's definitely not Andrew
I
Garfield.
have such power and not use it is to be
Who-
unworthy of it.
Who's your voice actor, Craven?
I think our readers will find this.
Is that
very
Steve Blum?
Good, good. I must take this call, but please look around.
Who is that voice? I need to Google that voice. 2 seconds.
Yes.
Amazing
No, I said tranquilize.
Spider-Man 2 Craven voice actor.
Automatic weapons.
Who is it?
Require no skill.
Steve Blum. Thought so. Steve Blum's got such a distinctive gravel, even when putting on a Russian accent. Snap 3 pictures of interesting objects. Okay. Not. There's never been good photography in a Spider-Man game. Like, we don't need to be doing photography. I know that he takes pictures for the Bugle or whatever, but come on, we're playing a Spider-Man game. Don't care. Bro.
I can do better than that.
What do you mean you can do better than that?
Couldn't ask for a better picture.
You're welcome. Nothing I hate more than a forced stealth section in a game with shitty stealth mechanics, and that's what we're doing right now. This is one of those where if you get seen, you fail the mission, you start again. That is never a good thing. Not in a game like this. No. There's no walk, like... So we've got one guy here, one guy there, one there. There's shed loads. We need to get over there. But the problem is, what you can and can't jump to and when you can and can't do it is up for debate. Enemy sight lines. Dodgy at best. There's a guy there, stealth. Night. I just hate stealth with a passion. No. Have I been seen? I have been seen. But it's one of them where you got to get seen a lot. And now I'm being seen by somebody from behind me. Let's see if I can take this guy out before that awareness bar fills all the way up, shall we? Hide in this corner here and wait for them to forget me. Although that awareness bar is nearly full just from one of them. And I don't feel like he should have seen me. What is his peripheral vision? I was behind his ear. Now where are they? One there. I need to get there, so that's not ideal. 4 guys left. And they're all facing the direction that I need to go. So I'll just wait here and hope for the best, because I can't get out this hole without them seeing me now. Why Spider-Man can't just knock them all out before they close the doors on the thing we're trying to see? You know, like a guy with superpowers could. This is the first time I think there's been a forced stealth section in one of these games. Do I need to take them all out before it'll let me interact with that thing, or what? We'll see. Can I interact? And now they're noticing me again. Who and where? I wish it told me which one. Like, they were nowhere near me just then. Why can't I stealth take down you right now? See what I mean about the it's just shitty contextuals. And now that guy can see me. Oh, we've so failed. Yep. It's crap. It's pure crap. This game's not winning me over. Who in their right mind on the development team for Amazing Spider-Man 2 went, you know what none of the Spider-Man games have had enough of? Missions where you walk around talking to people as Peter Parker in your superhero Spider-Man game. That is definitely what we needed more of. That is the weirdest looking Dane DeHaan stand-in I've ever seen in my life. Why do they look like this? Why is everybody just randomly... That is a big camera. Why is everybody just waving their hands around? How do the graphics on this look like worse than games from 10 years before? What is going on here? Bro's dressed. Oh, dear. Between the stealth missions and this, I really hope that it doesn't alternate between stealth mission, this mission, fighting mission. Because that would mean only 1/3 is fun. Although, based on the mission list, we're actually halfway through the game. There's 14 main missions, and this is the 7th one. Tail the Suspicious. That is about the 2nd mission we've had to tail someone to. The games have managed to go this long without loads of tailing missions, which, to be honest, I'm kind of surprised about, being as, you know, Spider-Man's powers might lend itself to tailing people pretty well. But come on. All of a sudden, now we're fighting Kingpin. This happens rapidly. Every few seconds, there's a different boss fight for random reasons. I think they've given him the Rhino approach. The get him to charge you, evade. You were supposed to slam into the wall, fella. Come on. Why does he have a pimp cane laser? Where did that come from? Come on. Dodge. Slam into the wall. Yeah, this is the way Rhino boss fights go. Typically, in every other one. Pushes away. 2 in a row? Right, Sumo, let's go. He's got a weird jaw, hasn't he? Oh, he's really summoning help. That's not fair. Guys with armour on as well, so we've got to melt their armour with the acid webs first. Although, how do I lock on to the correct one? Would be nice. I mean, I could just not get hit by any of them and just let him slam into... You were supposed to slam into things. Can the seismic thing actually take people down? How do I get him to, like, stagger like I did before? Is he going to hit something this time? Yeah, that time he did. Did you hear that? You're so fat that when you cut yourself shaving, marshmallow fluff comes out. That's a good one. I wonder if the seismic blast can take those guys out eventually. Like, is it doing chip damage? Come on, keep... If you could charge me, that'd be fantastic, fella. Come on. Here he comes. There we go. Oh, he summons another one. Or is that 3 more? So, okay, so yeah, there's 5 enemies in the room. And there's a gun. Bro. What the fuck? This would be fair if it was like a Bane fight where he can hit his own enemies. Stop. One more and I think we're done. Yeah, like that should be able to hurt his own men. Come on, bro. Right, this could be the last one. As long as he actually staggers. Good. We done? We better be done. Yeah, he's just gonna have a little sit down. The Amazing Spider-Man 2 really is such a short game. I'm on the second to the last mission according to the mission list, right? And I've been playing for 2.5 hours. Thank God for that though, because the whole menace system where... just Google menace system in Spider-Man 2. It's awful in Amazing Spider-Man 2 even. Like, they're trying to actively stop me swinging around, go away, and deploying hunters and things like that, so the quicker we get this done, the better. Yeah, nearly done. The good thing is it's not even 2 o'clock in the morning yet. At this rate, I'll have beaten 2 Spider-Man games today, and I'm in for an early night, which, nice. And then tomorrow we start, well, hopefully tomorrow, we start Sony Spider-Man 1. See, there's Goblin. In the last 4 missions, we've done 4 boss fights back to back with very little, like, in-between time. I just think it's kind of interesting. Like, it's just been boss gauntlets, basically. What are we doing? Pick up bomb. Are we throwing it into the air? That's usually the move. Where's it? What are we doing with it? Swimming with it. Okay, great. Still not sure how I feel about this game swinging with the whole left and right on left and right triggers, but I'm used to it by now. Wow. In the last 2.5 hours. At this point in time, I should be able to navigate New York like the back of my hand. The amount of these games I've played. Didn't even have to mash B or circle. Well, it looks like Carnage is the final boss of the Amazing Spider-Man 2 game. Okay, I mean, I'm pretty sure that Spider-Man 3 Sony is probably likely to be Carnage as well. I like that it's skinny Carnage, because each version of Carnage that we've fought so far in these games has been pretty much skinny Carnage, like Carnage in Ultimate Spider-Man. What else? Where else did we fight Carnage? Shattered Dimensions, that was it. How do I get him in the flame while not simultaneously being in the flame myself? I mean, I will tank that damage. Can I? Oh, I can hit you into it, okay. Oh, I can actually just fight you, I don't need to do that. Really? He's angry. He's an angry little fella. And now he's disappeared. Alright. Where's he gone? No, seriously, where is he gone? Can I, like, web strike him? I mean, if you're not going to attack me, I'm just going to stand here and heal. I was going to say, surely he's not going to let me do that. Web? What would you like me to do? I don't see what it wants me to do here. So we to turn the fire off so you'll come down? Like, bro, we can just fist fight to death, that's fine, but you're just being a little bitch and hiding up there. What do I do to make him come down? Like, come on, bro. Nah, this is pissing me off. Seismic shock? Oh, of course. I completely forgot that that was a thing, because, you know, where else has it been a thing? Hello? 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 Bruv. Yeah, get in the fire. Cool. And that was the end of The Amazing Spider-Man 2. It is 2:30 in the morning. I began at 11:30 and I didn't stop, so it was exactly 3 hours. Pretty abysmal. There's no reason to play this game over Amazing Spider-Man 1, and there's no reason to play either of them over pretty much any of the other Spider-Man games. But just everything that this game does is a downgrade versus any of the others. There was no improvement. And loads of things, which is very strange about it. Like, yeah. Anyway, let's get it put on the game log. I can't believe it's only 2:30. I was here when I went to the cinema earlier on. I was like, oh, that's going to mean that I'm not going to finish 2 games in one day, start to finish. But no, still did. So that's 4 Spider-Man games in 2 days. Well, technically a little bit less than. Nice. And that means tomorrow we begin Sony's Spider-Man. So we're on the ones that people will actually, you know, have played before, and the ones that are not stupidly expensive. But that means that we're now on 10 Spider-Man games in the last 7 days. So, yeah, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. If not a little bit sweaty. And it brings us up to 53 games for this year so far. It's crazy to me, and half the reason I do this game log is I like looking back on stuff. And even though it was only a week ago, it's like, Spider-Man was a week ago. That doesn't feel like it was a week ago to me. But Spider-Man, Spider-Man 2, 3, Ultimate Spider-Man, Web of Shadows, Friend or Foe, Shattered Dimensions, Edge of Time, Amazing Spider-Man, Amazing Spider-Man 2. Like, I remember being really, really annoyed at Spider-Man 3, but it was, what, 7 games ago now? That feels pretty weird. Anyway, I'll see you guys tomorrow when I begin Sony Spider-Man.